before we start our online submission, we're going to go over some things we're going to need. So first, we have some bubble wrap, obviously, and a cardboard box that we're going to pack it all in. Some cardboard slabs that we're going to put our cards in between. Some rubber bands. I would avoid the use of tape until the very end process. And then we have our card savers and or Ultra Pro semi-rigids. Now I'm using the Ultra Pros. I do have some Card Saver 2s, but they are very small and I wouldn't recommend Card Saver 2s. I heard Card Saver 1s are fine, but those are some basic things we'll need. And things I like to use are some penny sleeves and these little pull tabs here for notebooks, just like these. So these are just post-it little pull tabs. Stick it on the back of the sleeve and not the card. And then I will throw those in a semi-rigid. So let's go ahead and we'll start up an order for some of the cards I actually want to get graded. And let's get into that now. Okay, now that we have all of our items together to actually send the cards, what we're going to be doing is going to the PSA website and we're going to go ahead and look at some of the services before we even submit a card here. So we're going to go to the PSA here and we have a lot of different options, and this isn't all of them either. These are just some of the main ones. These two in blue are actually a paid subscription base, so you would have to sign up for the PSA subscription service to get these options. Now, it is only $100 USD a year, but not all of us want to pay that. So we have a bunch of different options here. So we have the value for $25 a card USD. All these prices are in USD, same the declared value, with the turnaround time of 65 days. Now, if you go a little bit higher, we have the expedited turnaround time with 20 days. Now that is 20 days at PSA, not 20 days in total. So it'll be 20 days at PSA, and then they'll ship it back, and however long that takes to get shipped back to you, as well as shipping there. With the $40 value, with a declared value of $500. So the same declared value as the $25, just a much faster turnaround time. And then you can go up from there. So we're going to be sending some cards here. And before we do that, actually get into the submission process, what we're going to do is look at some of the declared values. So declared value is whatever you think your card is going to get. So if you think it's going to get a PSA 10, you should shop around and see some prices for the PSA 10, see what it's selling at. So we have a Sylveon VMAX Ultra we're going to be sending, and I think it has a good contention to get a 10. So what I'm doing here now is going to sold listings on eBay. There might be a better way to do this, but this is how I've been doing it, and I haven't hit an upcharge just yet. So I'm just looking at the sold value here. So I can see it's around 300, 320 all the way up to 350. So I would say probably 330 for the English PSA 10. So what I'm going to do there, now this is just because I'm Canadian. I'm going to go ahead and convert this. So let's do, it's going to cost 330 Canadian, which is this much USD. And I'm just going to go ahead and copy that for when we have to declare the value. Now, back to the submission. We're going to go back to the PSA website and hit submit. We're going to start a submission. We're going to hit the regular size cards. Now there's different options for different things, but we're doing strictly Pokemon. So we'll stick to this. We're going to hit grading. We're doing no autograph authentication, which gives us our grade and some authenticity. Going to hit next. If you want to read the other submissions, be my guest, but this is the mainstay. And we're going to be doing value plus here because of our declared value is a little bit higher. Obviously, we could still do the regular, or not the regular, the bulk ones, but I don't want to do that just yet because that 65-day turnaround time is a little bit too long for me. I would rather just pay the extra. So we're going to hit next. Now, this is the worst part of submitting to PSA. I can guarantee you that is typing in the name correctly. So I've actually copied some here, and we're going to type them in just like this. So 2021 Pokemon Sword and Shield Evolving Skies, the number of the card Umbreon V Altert, and then we're going to go down, and there's a bunch of different options as you can see, so you have to be very specific. So I would double check, even triple check your cards here. So I'm looking at my Umbreon V Alt, and it has 189 out of 203. This is 189 Full Art Umbreon V Evolving Skies in the English. And we're going to go ahead and look up declared value, which I actually believe is the same as the Sylveon. So we're going to write 244 because I think that is the best of my abilities, what I remember. We're going to go ahead and hit save. And I will be doing roughly the same declared value for the Sylveon. But again, just type in 2021, Pokemon, the set, or the era, the set number, and then so on and so forth. The more information you get it, you don't have to type it exactly like this, but the more information you give it, the more forgiving it's going to be. So as you can see, I actually just typed in the same one. We're actually trying to hit the Sylveon here. So we'll start typing in that. And you can see it actually popped up pretty quick there. And we'll look at the price, 230. So it's actually a little bit higher. We're going to go ahead and copy that declared value and put that in and hit save. So I have a couple other submissions I'm going to add, and then we'll continue from there. So now that we're on this intimidating screen here that our submission form has been successfully completed, I did cut out some of that stuff because it is just going through a normal checkout process that you would go through like anywhere else. But we are going to go ahead and arrange and package our order, and we have some labels we're going to have to print out and slap on the box. But let's go ahead and get into this. So as you can see here, I actually have all my cards labeled except for one. So we're going to start from the very beginning. So what I would do is grab my card, put it in a nice fresh penny sleeve, and I attach these on the back, which they're just little pull tabs. They are just from like binders, Post-its. I mean, you can grab it. I like putting them on because I don't want to have to make the person like dig in with their hands to grab the cards out. Then I grab a semi-rigid Ultra Pro. And what I'm going to do is I like to just kind of stretch it out a bit and open it like that. And then we'll shove our card in. And I slowly release. Yeah, see, didn't like that. And I'll slowly release as I'm putting it in. So it kind of just slips down there. And as you can see, there's this little pull tab for them to grab it out. And then since this is number 4, I have a Post-it to write on it number 4. So this is just so the grader knows which card's which. We want to make it super simple and easy for them to make sure they're having a pretty easy day for us. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So I'm going to stack my cards up like so. Now this is where you want to have your 2 pieces of cardboard. Now I generally measure it roughly just a little bit bigger than the actual top or the actual card saver itself or the semi-rigid. So we're going to pancake this in between just like so. And you can actually see where I traced it out and cut around. Going to pancake it just like that. Now we're going to grab some elastic bands. And again, I don't like using tape for this. And I'm actually pretty selective with the elastic bands I use. I don't want to put too much pressure anywhere on the cards. Just making sure they're really secure in here so that they're not going anywhere in our package. Even if they do go anywhere in our package, they should be safe because of how we are packing it. But I do try to avoid tape here because if you're a grader and you're picking at tape, you're not having a great day. So that looks pretty good to me. Maybe I'll just stretch these out a bit or space these out a bit here. And our cards aren't going anywhere. So I'm satisfied with that. Now we'll get all this stuff out of the way and we'll actually get into the packing process. So personally, what I then do is I have a small box and I don't really get these from anywhere. They're just come in other Amazon packages. And then I will wrap this up in bubble wrap itself. Because again, we know how brutal postal services can be. We're going to wrap this up just like so. And we're actually going to put it back in the box after we put one more little rubber band around. Now, I don't like the way that one fits. It's a little too tight. Do this one. Again, just like that. Don't want the bubble wrap falling off or anything. And we're going to pack it like so. Not even write cards inside in the box, just to make sure it is as easy for them as possible. And I will even go ahead and elastic band this one as well. So again, for me, it's all about finding the right elastic band. I don't want anything too tight, but I also don't want anything that's just going to slip off. And with these assorted elastic bands, it's kind of annoying to find the right one here. This one feels like it's good though. Again, avoiding using tape. Avoiding using tape, I found, has been my best bet so far. So we'll put 2 on the outside. Make sure it stays closed without putting any tape on it. Then you're gonna have another box. We have this box like this. This is actually like a tablet box from Canada Postal Service. It has this little cardboard insert, which I actually like because I feel like it makes the box a little bit more stable. So before we do that, I always wrap this in bubble wrap as well. All right, so that's a little bit better. And you guessed it, once again, we're gonna hit it with the rubber bands. Just making sure that bubble wrap's in place. Just gonna go ahead and do 1 here. We're gonna grab our box, and again, I'm using the tablet box from Canada Post. I just like the cardboard support. We can actually see fits pretty nicely in there, but we do have a lot of wiggle room here. So you can fill it up with cardboard, you can fill it up with paper or plastic wrap, whatever you want. We are gonna be using, I think, some bubble wrap today. You know what, we're gonna actually stick to our paper. So I'm just gonna be going around it, sticking paper in here, just like so. Eliminating all the wiggle room I possibly can, and trying to keep it in the center of the box. Just gonna put kind of a little 1 more sheet. Not fully covering, that's just kind of an improvise. I like to put a little bit more cardboard on top. Because remember, we do have a lot of packaging in there. And just like so, it is all packed. You don't hear anything moving around in there. And that's good to me. All right, so we do have it all packed up here, but there are a few more things we need to do. You're going to have your copies of your, I'm not going to show mine because again, it shows your address and stuff. You're going to have your regular card submission form, 1 and 2, and a PSA item list. All 3 of those need to go inside of the package. And then you're going to have a scannable barcode as well that'll have to go on the outside of the package. So I'm going to shove those in really quickly, and then we'll go ahead and get to my taping process and how I do that. All right, so now that I have the flap just taped down, I'm going to go ahead and pack it like I normally would. Just again. Just kind of stretching it out, trying to compact the box a little bit to make sure that it's nice and tight. Getting a little tape ASMR here as well. So I have a nice secure middle part. Now what I'll usually do is I'll tape a little bit more on this side and a little bit more on that side. And then we're going to go around and do all of the edges, even the edge that has like covering. So we'll do that really quickly and we'll come back to you. All right, so we've taped the loving hell out of this box, and I'm talking every little inch that could possibly get like water in it or whatnot. Obviously, I don't expect that to happen. And we've taped on our barcode and we have our papers inside. So now we're actually going to go ahead and we're going to Canada Post, and we have our shipping address that we're shipping it to. You can find on the PSA website, and we're going to ship this out. I am going to insure this package as well through Canada Post to make sure Canada Post doesn't do anything fishy. And we'll be doing expedited shipping. And if you guys do have a small business account with Canada Post, you save about $3 or $4 on shipping, which is pretty good. It works out to be about $40 or something like that. And we're going to ship these out, and we should expect them back in about 30 days, so about a month. And we'll have all our cards back and graded.